We've talked many times about this before, but this is a great time to be living in this city. We are committed, this commission is committed to the revitalization of our city. Not only downtown, because we talk a lot about downtown, but other areas of our city. We've worked on neighborhoods, Mechanicsville. We're in the process of taking a hard look at the Triplet Twist area. So there's exciting things going on everywhere. Our success thus far has come, though, from looking at all options. When we set out to do a project, we want it done right, as we have demonstrated with the many projects we've done to date. This includes our efforts and cooperation to bring professional hockey to Owensboro and our commitment to the tremendous success of our other sports partners, the Kentucky Mavericks, Kentucky Wesleyan basketball, Dr. Bart Darrell, I believe, is here, and Owensboro Catholic basketball. As for the Sports Center, we set out originally on a very aggressive schedule that we were willing to work with as long as it produced a great product for our community. Our partners, the Icemen, I believe, share and know that they share that goal to invest in our community, do it right the first time, and have a win-win for Owensboro. I am excited about where this journey has taken us and where we will end up once we are playing professional hockey here in Owensboro, and we will. The Sports Center, though, is more than 60 years old, and it has its challenges. And with the goal of making sure we, in partnership with the Icemen and Ron Gary, who will speak here in a minute, do this right, we have agreed to extend the contract deadline until September 30th, 2016, to allow the owner and the city to weigh three options. One, renovate the existing structure. Two, build a new structure on the site where the Sports Center sits today. And three, which is the one I like the most, build a brand new arena as a part of the TIF development on Highway 54. And why would I say that? Right now, the consultants have estimated that that project will generate $158 million in new tax revenue. 85% of that, $135 million, is state tax money. State tax money. The largest component being sales tax, $101 million. Why would we not want to do everything we can to take advantage of that and receive as much state assistance as we possibly can? With that, I have asked Ed to prepare for the City Commission's approval an amendment to our TIF project to include this new arena. That doesn't mean that we will build it there, but it allows for that possibility, and it is something we definitely need to explore. All three of these options warrant careful and deliberate consideration and vetting. By doing this, we will be able to allow the many events planned for this spring, including the Mavericks tournament, our local graduations, and many other events to take place at the Sports Center. We have been wrestling ever since we made this original announcement as far as where all of these things were going to take place if we started to renovate the Sports Center. That no longer will be an issue. Again, we are excited about the opportunity this brings to our community and are thankful for our continued partnership with professional hockey. Speaking of hockey, the Icemen are very fortunate to be relocating to Owensboro because this community is also home of the Owensboro Rampage hockey team, who recently beat Louisville Trinity 6-0 to win the state championship. We will be honoring them tomorrow at our commission meeting. Mr. Gary, looks like you have a feeder system for your professional team. These are exciting times in our sports town, USA, and we look forward to all of the opportunities that we're going to have going forward. With that, I'm going to stop and give Mr. Gary an opportunity to speak. Ron?
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Okay. Obviously, a very exciting period of days for us. We have worked about 5 or 6 weeks researching, analyzing the renovation of the Sports Center. Just a wonderful, beautiful, historic building that I've actually fallen in love with. And I love all the folks that are out there with us, Kentucky Wesleyan, Owensboro Catholic, who also now is in a state tournament, I understand, too. And also, obviously, Kentucky Mavericks, and then many other folks that rent that. And so, from my perspective, it's a beautiful facility. We have, because of, I guess, the rush of doing things, we've had, I want to thank all the engineers, architects who have helped us do all the studies, a lot of different drafts. And the result is that we still have a need to try to pin down a final layout. We have about the 5th one, I think, is definitely the best, and it's getting pretty exciting. But it has taken much longer than we thought. But yesterday, the ECHL Hockey League had an owners meeting to officially approve the transfer from Evansville to Owensboro. That's official now. We are officially going to be the Owensboro team that will be in the ECHL. But because of the delays, and not because of we just had a whole bunch of hard work, I sought wise counsel from all 28 members that own the teams throughout the National League that we're in, and they all said, Ron, we want you to have the right approach and do it right the first time. They've been there many more years than I have in the league, and they just said that they've had other efforts in the past that they've watched and been associated with, that you can rush this thing and you don't get it right. And so they recommended, and I also recommended that we receive a 1-year going dark for us, so we can take that extra time and pursue these other 2 really, I think, very satisfactory opportunities, and make sure that when we get this done, that it is done right, and it's one that we'll all be proud of as far as the construction, the renovation, or construction, wherever it might be located here in Owensboro. So that's also been approved for us to do that. It was a very difficult decision for me because we've been building this organization up for 9 years, and we got a lot of momentum going, but this, I think, is definitely the right decision to take the extra time, do all the analysis for all 3 of the approaches. And again, the original approach of analyzing and renovating the sports center is coming along. We're making some progress, and we have some improvements, but we've had to deal with some unique situations, one of which is you take the existing seating, the construction and everything, and as you look down from the various seats to the floor is going to be down from where a lot of the seats are, and so what is called the line of sight wasn't as good as we originally thought. So we now have made arrangements to correct that, and we have some possibilities. If we stay there, we're going to have approximately 18 suites that will be very nice. But that adds to the cost. It adds to the viability of return on investment, which we all have to look at, not only from the city's perspective, but from our perspective. And so the result is we're going to take the extra time, pursue maybe a new construction of a new building if we can't quite get there with the renovation. I'm a historical preservationist. I want the first one to work, but we now have some great opportunities that were not even thought about when we first started approaching this. So we're excited. We think it's going to be really good. The team, we're going to open up an office here as soon as our season's over, April the 9th, over at Evansville. And we're going to be arranging to sell tickets, season tickets. We're going to have sponsorships. We'll have public appearances by our various teams that we have, not only the players, But also a lot of the players we think are maybe going to be joining us at this time. And the result is that it's going to be good to be here and immerse into the community and let you all help us grow this into what I want is to bring a national championship to Owensboro. It's a 28-team league, so it's quite an accomplishment when you accomplish it, but I'm sure we're going to do that, and it would be great to do that here in Owensboro. So at this point, that's our announcement. We're excited. It was a lot of hard work. We're not going to get there as quickly as we wanted to, but on the other hand, we want to do it right from the beginning, and we want the finished product to be right and one that everybody is proud of. So at this point, if you have any questions for the mayor or myself, we're here.
Steve?
My question, Ron, is, and Mr. Gary, when do you anticipate the Icemen playing hockey in Owensboro?
I'm sorry, I did not say that. We're obviously shooting for October 2017. So our original goal was we wanted to play November the 1st of 2016. And that is a very aggressive timetable. We all knew that. We were hoping we'd get there, but we can't get there. We know that now. And so let's take the extra time, look at a couple other alternatives, and come up with the best one.
My other question would be, what happens to the players that you had on the team this year? What do they do during this no hockey?
The players that are affiliated with Ottawa or Binghamton will be still aligned with them and be playing wherever their parents decide that they would play. Our other players that are not aligned and contracted with our affiliates would become free agents, and we will have some very good players for them to choose from.
Mayor, I seem to be hearing two different things here. One, that the sports center is not very suitable for this venture, and maybe that it will be. Which one is it?
Well, Steve, that's why we need to take time and explore all of the options. You know, we've been in and I always thought, and even commented last time you and I talked, that this was a very aggressive schedule, and one of the things that might happen is for the Icemen to have to lay out for a year, and it looks like that's what's going to occur here. But, you know, I think we need to take a little time, look at this, and see if the road we're going down is the best road to go down. You know, if we can tap into a significant source of revenue to build a new arena in this community, I feel like it's something we ought to do. That, you know, again, the current facility is 66 years old. You know, it's I think it's on the PVA, I believe, at $2.5 million. We're talking about putting anywhere from $4 to $6 million into a facility that's only $2 million. So you've got to back up and say, even if we were to do that, what are we going to be doing 10 years down the road? We potentially could be looking at having to replace it anyway. So do we want to get in a big rush here and do something that maybe down the road this community is going to regret? It's just worth a look-see. We need to take a look at it. The other thing that I have been thinking about is that, you know, we have this activity going on in this neighborhood. You know, when you think about transportation, moving a lot of people, because I anticipate the Icemen drawing a lot of people into the city of Owensboro. Where would the best place be for that arena? We just have that bypass extension. You know, the people coming in from the south or north or whatever, get on that bypass, you're right there at 54. The state has incorporated in the 6-year road plan the widening of 54 to 6 lanes. So we're going to have the infrastructure out there to deal with more so than we're going to have on Moreland Avenue. So, you know, if we grow this sports activity, and it seems like we're doing that. We just recently, of course, got the Mavericks. Now we're talking about the Icemen. Maybe it's time we built a new sports arena, if we are really truly Sportstown USA. But that's not to say we're going to do it. It's just something that deserves to be looked at.
Yeah, the points you're announcing today, I mean, will this have any effect at all on the other tenants of the Sports Center, Owensboro Catholic, Kentucky Wesleyan, and so all their deals will remain as?
That's correct. That's correct.
But if you do build a new arena, I mean, could there be a possibility of them moving out there to that side
that would be up to them. And again, those are the kind of things that we would have to look at. We'd have to talk to them about that. You know, we're not going to have all the answers today, but we're just telling you that maybe we need to slow down here a little bit and explore all the options so that 10 years down the road, the city's may not have to look back and think, darn, you know, we should have done that maybe a little different. But again, you know, this commission, everything we've undertaken, we've always tried to do it right the first time. Our park, our convention center, whatever we have undertaken. And this deserves the same attention we gave to all of those other projects. Kurt?
You mentioned that you were going to have an addition or amendment to the TIF to see if that's possible to pay for it. What would that amount be for? Do you know yet? When would you know?
No, in talking to Ed, you know, possibly anywhere from $20 to $25 million to build a new arena. But listen, don't hold me to that. I've learned a long time ago, you know, once you get into these things. But that's the ballpark, the range that we're looking at right now. Okay. Yes, sir.
I know you said it's still in the early stages, but do they have an estimated size of what the new arena would be?
No. No, again, that's the reason for taking our time here to look at this. I'm sure Mr. Gary can tell you what he needs for hockey, but again, what this thing's going to look like is yet to be determined. Yes, sir, Brian.
Can you tell us whether the owner of the Mavericks has been included in this conversation?
He will be. They will be. Everybody will be. We're going to take our time, take a look at this, talk to everybody, see what they think about this, and then make a decision. I've got to think, though, that most of them would love to play in a new arena. Some of the games I've gone to, I was surprised how it was quite warm in the sports center. And you know, again, maybe that's all of that activity and excitement was creating that heat. But maybe it's time to replace, you see what I'm saying?
Just add ice.
Yeah. Right. Yes, sir.
Mr. Geary, were the players notified about this dark year?
We have talked to the coaches and our internal staff, and as you know, they played 7 games out of the last 10. I have a meeting scheduled with them in the morning to go over all the details, all the transitional rules that go with this decision. And certainly, as you know, they're playing quite well now, and they're all tired. Coach, I wanted to meet with them this morning, and he suggested that let's let them get a day of rest, and then we're going to have a nice session, sit down tomorrow after practice.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Club still be known as the Icemen, or would you want to get a new name since you got a new city?
Right now, we are the Icemen. The official application to the ECHL is that we are now the Owensboro Icemen as soon as we start play over here.
Nickname remains the same?
Yes.
As for the more than $200,000, if I remember correctly, that the city gave to the Icemen to help with the sports center renovations, is that still going forward, or is that already?
All of that's on the table. Those are the things that we're going to have to look at once a decision's made. If we stay with the original plan, then everything's in place. If we do something different, a lot of that's going to depend on what we do different.
And why in the Highway 54 TIF district instead of the one you guys are planning for downtown?
The downtown TIF district won't generate enough revenue, and I think the other thing is location and transportation. Let's think about the challenges we have right now with parking, and to put a facility that would draw 5,000 people to it would probably be more than our downtown could handle at this point in time. Yeah, Brian.
And how is this delay going to affect the possibility of the downtown off-track betting facility that we've been talking about?
Well, that's part of our deal, and as far as I'm concerned, the timing on that was always going to be, we applied to the Horse Racing Commission from September 1st to October 15th. We will know November 1st. Assuming it gets approved, and from our perspective, we are wanting to move forward with that. And we'd always planned it would not be available or open until probably the second half of 2017.
But that application has been filed, is that correct?
No, we can't file it until September the 1st
September the 1st.
to October 15th.
Okay.
That's a statute or regulation.
Anyone else? Thank everybody for coming.